Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Downtime in the Ring. This week, I have the pride of Albuquerque, New Mexico, the man, the future belt collector, or at least that's what he said in his promo the other night at Phase One Pro Wrestling. I have Tommy Two Scoops Test this week. What's going on, brother?
Good. It feels good to be here. How you doing?
What's up, man? So, like getting to witness you, I never got to witness you wrestle. I don't go to DCCW shows. So I didn't really know who you were. One of the guys that you train with, Eric, spoke highly about you when I told him I was going to go help over at the Phase 1 show. So I didn't know what to expect, and then seeing the way you held yourself in the ring, seeing the way that you went up against Ocean, was a great match overall. Had some amazing spots in it. But overall, where did the name Two Scoops come from? Like where did that come from?
First of all, thank you. I had tons of fun working with Ocean. He is someone that I could wrestle any day of the week. He really good look. He's big. He's strong. He's tall. Killer looking tattoos, and he's really good. So wrestling him was, I think, right before our match, they called it like a New Mexico dream match.
Yeah.
I never thought it was gonna happen, and it happened. And everyone that I've talked to said it lived up to the hype. And I mean, I'm just glad that it went well, and personally, I'll do it again and again and again. So I think him and I could definitely have you know, a series of rivalry matches.
Yeah.
It was that fun. It was that close. Yeah, and then in Rio Rancho, I know I had around 100 friends and family, and so did he. So there's a lot of potential to modern day.
Yes.
What's a good rivalry? Obviously, um, good chemistry there. Anyway, yeah, the name Two Scoops, it's kind of a joke. So I was always a heel wrestler. My first 15 matches, I was a bad guy, and it was a promo. It was right before I wrestled the student show at Slam U in Mesa, Arizona, and I had just got off of work, and my wife helped me record a promo. And I got out of the truck, had my shaker bottle, and I was wrestling a guy by the name of Metanoia, and he was always like a guy I came up with, but he's a partier, he's a raver, and that's his wrestling character.
Yeah.
And him in real life. So my promo was just, hey Metanoia, something something, you're out here partying with the fans, you're here downtown Glendale. While you're doing that, I'm just hopping on my truck about to slam this Two Scoops Deluxe. And it kind of just stuck. So then I got to the venue and didn't think much of it. My wife was like laughing, and the whole way in the car, she was like, yeah, that was pretty solid. That's probably your best promo yet. And she just said something special about it. And then got to the venue, and all the guys there were just like, "Oh, what's up, Two Scoops? What's up, Two Scoops? Call me Two Scoops." And it kind of stuck. And then I wrestled in that match, and I did like a double leg takedown, and it just kind of happened. But I went two, as of like in wrestling, you score a takedown, you get 2 points,
Yeah.
and I went two, and the whole crowd went two. Um, and I was like, "Oh," and I was a bad guy. By the end of that show, by the end of that match, I had the entire crowd, Two Scoops, Two Scoops. So it just happened by accident almost, and then it's
That's
kind of
cool, man.
catchy. So yeah,
I like that, dude. I like that. That's kind of cool. So you're an amateur wrestler, I'm guessing, because of the
yeah.
two. So that's an interesting way to think about it. And then going into that's how it's created your brand essentially right there.
Well, so even better. So that was I was still a bad guy at that point, right? And then
Yeah.
I got thrown into a tag team in Phoenix Championship Wrestling with a babyface. So it was a babyface character partner MBW, and then I was the heel. So we were kind of like a team that was uncohesive yet, and the crowd really carried us over. And I was still a bad guy, and they were just
Yeah.
cheering me more than anything else. So I had my first big test in June of last year, my birthday weekend in Long Beach for PCW Ultra. I got a dark match. It was my first time ever working babyface, my first time ever being a good guy singles. and I was so nervous, and I was the opening match of the pre-show. Nobody knows who I am, and I just come out in a plain black singlet, says two scoops in the back, and over there in PCW Ultra, that's a smart crowd, right? That's a
Yeah.
wrestling fan crowd. That's a hard one to win over. And from the very first lockup, whatever happens, the guy goes for a short tackle, I don't go. I go like this, and I go two scoops, and the whole crowd repeats after me, two scoops. So by the end of the night, so every time I did I kicked out of a pin, one, two scoops, and
Oops.
I never thought about that. I never rehearsed it. It just happened like naturally, and it was kind of like funny because I was
Yeah.
being a good guy and I was trying to just be lighthearted, right?
Yeah.
So I was just almost joking in the ring, trying to pop the crowd really, and they reacted to it. So for the rest of the night, every time there was a 2 count for the rest of the show, even for the Psycho Clown versus Jacob Fatu match, every 2 count was two scoops the entire night, and I just led on to
Yeah.
like from California to Arizona to New Mexico to Texas. No matter where I went, it just the crowd liked it. Kind of weird.
No, dude, that's perfect. I mean, it's something simple. Like, even when you were in your match with Ocean, um, I even got excited, and I'm helping. I'm recording footage of y'all to make for TikToks and for like social media. Like, I'm already knowing, and I got super excited. And the 3 scoops, I was like, oh, dude, this is so over. I'm
That was my
even.
first ever
I'm.
three scoops champ.
Oh, we got a rare 3 scoops, dude. I'm so happy. I'm so happy for that. That was so fun, dude. And like I said, I didn't know who you were. I'm glad that I actually got to see you wrestle. Got to see the character that you are. I'm starting to realize it's just you turned up to 11 in a way. And from what I've been told by other people, it seems like that. Like you're genuinely a good dude. But PCW Ultra, you're heading back there, aren't you?
Yes, I
Aren't
finally got onto the main roster, which that is, if we're talking tiers of indie wrestling, that is top tier. That is a very difficult show to get on. I've spent 4 or 5 years, doing with the ring crew, doing outside security. My first ever show with them, I was 21 years old. I just started training, and I didn't even really get to watch the show. I was in the parking lot doing, security for the talent in the cold in
yeah.
October, in a little skinny black polo shirt. But in the back of my head, I was saying it's all going to be worth it. I'm paying my
Mhm.
dues. I went back to Long Beach 5 other times before I even got my first opportunity in a pre-show match, and I'll do it a million more times if it means that one magical night again. And that's a company that prestigious is in independent wrestling gets prestige. You
Yeah.
look at their lineage, their first ever champions, or I think it was like Rob Van Dam and Pentagon, and like that's a place where I am proud to work for, and I can't wait. It's the lock screen of my phone. I have lots of friends. I play college rugby in college, so I have a lot of friends that live in California, so the SoCal area, and they're gonna go out and watch. So I'm gonna have someone to perform in front of, and I got to do it for the Vatos.
Oh, okay. I looked up your Instagram. I know exactly what that means. Ah, dude. So what I am confused about, and it was your promo the other night, is you said you packed your bags, you went to a city that you didn't know. So you came to Albuquerque, correct? Where are you originally from?
So I'm actually originally from a little small town 30 minutes south of Las Vegas, New Mexico. So I went to the same high school as Gypsy Mac. Actually, she
Oh,
was a
wow.
senior and I was a freshman, so she was my brother's classmate. Same high school. I know her family really well. They had a really good Johnny's Mexican Kitchen restaurant. That was like our spot in high school. Um, Now they have a food truck, and I've heard nothing but good things about it. So if you're ever in Las Vegas, New Mexico, go check out that Johnny's. I think it's like the Flying Kitchen or something like that. Their food truck out there. But yeah, country boy. So I grew up on a ranch. I actually moved to Phoenix 5 days after I turned 21, specifically to train for wrestling.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. So when you said that, I was like, is he talking about here? Is he talking about Rio Rancho? That's what I assumed. So you went to, what is it? Phoenix Championship Wrestling, Arizona. Is that the correct way to say it?
Correct.
And I
Yes.
saw that you were the champion there. Is that, no, that's not the same as Alex, because Alex was the AWF.
Yes.
So
Correct.
talk about your time in Phoenix Championship Wrestling. What,
Cool. Yeah.
how long did you train there? What championship did you have?
Yeah. So I'm still actually the current longest reigning PCW AZ Tag Team Champion. Under our new resurgence after we had the Rebirth show. After 2020, wrestling kind of just faded out everywhere. And I had my
Mhm.
first ever match September 2021. And that was like a Rebirth show. So since then, we've kind of like opened a new, brand new titles, brand new wave of talent. Um, but backtracking just a little bit, I guess moving to Albuquerque is brand new for me. So this is my start of my third week here. On Saturday was my second week in Albuquerque. So in a way, I am brand new to a brand new city as well. And this is all new to me. I would come to Albuquerque once or twice in the summer growing up as a kid. Once to go to the zoo and once to go school clothes shopping, if I was lucky.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Um, so that was kind of it's so different, but I love it. But yeah, my time in Phoenix was nothing short of what I expected of wrestling training. Went to the Arizona Pro Wrestling Training Center, and the way they run things over there is comparable to the Performance Center. It's
Oh,
um, brutal. There's tryout basis, so they only have 4 classes a year. It's spring, summer, winter, fall, and they have an actual kind of system to get there. So I was in college. I was in doing my homework, and I was emailing Dom and John Wolfgang, "Hey, I want to train." I'm like, "All right, well, there's a list of things you got to do. Send you an email. You got to confirm for this email. Confirm the date. This is the date of tryout. How are you gonna get 8 hours from Las Vegas, New Mexico to Mesa, Arizona?
yeah.
You got to do all these steps to get there to confirm to save my spot, and then it's like, all right, put your money deposit down, put your money where your mouth is." And then I got there, and it was like a 20, 30 person tryout, and they're only keeping the top 10, and so it was like I had to earn my spot there. So I
Yeah.
packed up my dad's van. I he gave me his minivan for my journey, and I packed it up, and it's like a suitcase full of dreams, really. And I had a sinus infection. This is the dramatic part of it, and I was fresh off of playing rugby for New Mexico Highlands. So I thought I was in rugby shape. Um, Wrestling shape and rugby shape are two completely different. And rugby, you're running 80, 90 straight minutes in a row nonstop.
Yeah.
5 minutes in the ring is a whole different story compared to that. Um, but yeah, I got there. My tryout was brutal. Triple degree weather, 116 on a Saturday morning in June, the last day of June. And I felt hot. I felt heat, but never have I felt 113, 115, 115, 16 degrees in Phoenix, Arizona heat. That is, you know, it's hell on earth. Um,
Yeah.
so that was the start of it. And it was a tryout. It was like 10 grueling workouts. And if you survive, you kind of, and from that class, I believe I'm the only one currently that stayed with the school until I've just moved away, but I'm in still good graces with them. They're still my mentors. I send all my matches to Dom. You know, they're still getting bookings for me. I got my connection through Ultra through them. Um, really close with them. Like my loyalty is still to that school. So going back to you said how long have I been training? How long I've been working? About training 4 years, working about 2. That being said, um, I've had a couple bumps in my training. The reason why it's been so long with so few matches is one, 2020 pandemic, school shut down. I moved back to New Mexico for 8 months, got out of shape, so I had to come back and start from ground zero nearly. And then right when I got momentum going, had my first match in that September, um, night before Halloween, 20 and 21. I actually in a car accident fractured my skull, fractured my nose, lost some teeth. So I got 32 stitches across my face. Then I got COVID from the doctor. So I was out for 4 or 5 months, 6 months after that. So then I had another, one match
Yeah.
in, and I'm out for 6 months. But I didn't quit, and in fact, I had to start from ground zero once again. It felt like, um, but since then, it's been, I'm
Yeah.
so hungry. Hungry is not even what I could use for it. And beyond motivated, it's more of a discipline factor now. Of if I don't do this, why am I? Like I've sacrificed so much to get where I am now. So it's like second nature, and not that I'm saying that it's easy. I've had setback after setback after setback, but yeah, I'm just around 40 matches, and I've been doing this for 4 years. Some people do 40 matches in their first 2 months of wrestling.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude. I mean, I respect it, and it seems like life just kept throwing something at you, no matter what. I mean, yes, the pandemic, that was something that none of us were prepared for. But even the car crash going into it, and you didn't think. Did you ever think at once like maybe I shouldn't do wrestling, or were you just even more excited to come back?
Yeah, no. As a matter of fact, this is a true story. You could ask my brother, and my friend Gabe. They were there at the accident, so I kicked out at 2. That's literally what I said. My skull was showing,
Yeah,
tipped over my skin. My mouth had actually ripped up all the way down, so they sewed it up from the inside. And I landed. My wrist was broken. My shoes flew off. Sunglasses were gone. And I got out, and I made sure I had all my fingers were still in my hands. Made sure I still had my limbs. I could stand up. Okay, and I stood up after being ejected at 30 miles an hour, 20 feet, full scorpion on the pavement, and I kicked out at 2. Maybe it is adrenaline. Maybe it was instinct. I tucked my
yeah,
chin. I kept myself safe. And the doctor even said, like, if you didn't have such big shoulders, neck, and traps, you would have broke your neck. So in
yeah,
a way, wrestling saved my life physically, because previously at the Arizona Pro Wrestling Training Center, I was doing Gabriel Gallo. I was doing neck exercises daily. Um, I got to the best shape of my life. I would work specifically to get a big back. So looking back, those movements and exercises wrestling training saved me in time of crisis.
So one, that's inspiring. That's awesome, dude. Two, what is your training regimen, dude? Because you are huge.
Thanks, man. I'm actually trying to get. So I'm actually gonna be wrestling against a really jacked guy in Ultra, and I don't think I can say the name yet because it's not released publicly yet. But let's
Ooh.
just say this guy is very yoked, so I just want to look comparable to him. My training regimen is kind of right now. I'm on week 2 or 3 of something. I'm working with a new trainer. His name is Adam. He's out of Arizona, so he has my diet right. So right next to me, I have actually a little of everything. Got the 0-calorie Gatorade. I got the greens, big pot of rice, chicken, um, avocados, red potatoes. My wife is like my big inspiration. We do everything together. So her body transformation is insane as well, and we come from opposite ends of the spectrum. So when I met her, she was itty bitty, 113, ate once every other day, and I was 235 with a broken skull that needed to get back in wrestling shape.
Mhm.
So we kind of met in the middle. We always joke about making a TikTok or a podcast called "Meet Me in the Middle" or something to
Yes.
commentate, because we've done it all together, really.
Yeah.
Um, but my regimen is kind of like very intense. I would say it's every single day. We take rest days. Today's been somewhat of a rest day, but she started hinting about just going to do cardio or something later.
Yeah.
Um, and it's almost like the bro split. So back and buys, and then but it's a twist on it. So I do legs twice a week. So at the
Okay.
wrestling school, we did 500 air squats every single day before you even got the right to get in the ring to even train. So I learned how to wrestle on Jalo legs, doing in and
That
outs, up
stresses
and
me out.
overs, and that's just the way I was brought up. So my first, you know, 16 months of wrestling before I even had a first match, I had done over 500,000 squats quite literally, 1,000 to close to 3,000 a week sometimes. Um, so I got to that point where I would do push pull legs, but it was like legs push pull legs. So Mondays and Wednesdays were leg days,
Oh, okay.
and then Tuesdays was like a push day, and then I would always make Friday a pull day, kind of an accessory workout. Feel good
Yeah.
for the weekend. And then Friday I had nothing better to do but to work out all damn day. I worked in a gym as well, so and it's kind of stuck like that. So that's my program right now. It's the most difficult program I have right now I've ever had. A lot of different movements, very specific movements. I have no aspiration to become a bodybuilder, but this is a bodybuilder plan. Um, that's just a sport that's very, very hard and beyond competitive, but difficult beyond means. And I have no aspiration to go that route, but I want to get in the best possible shape wrestling so I have the best possible shot to get to the next level. My goal in wrestling is not to stick around in New Mexico for very long, if I'm being honest. I love it. I love cherish every second I have in the ring gear. Wrestling was dead in New Mexico. But my goal ultimately is to get to that next level, whether it be a tryout, the performance center, or, you know, I started my career the same exact time AEW started running. So I feel like I've grown as they've grown.
Yes.
And I've kind of watched them the entire step of the way. And I feel like that's my home company in a weird way. I've always had a feeling about it. I've prayed about it. And I've always felt like that's the place where I want to wrestle most. Um, but that's my end all goal. So I want to get to myself to the physical body, you know, so I can look at the guys on TV, you know?
Yeah. You want to be as big as Wardlow, Big E, Cage.
Exactly. Cage is my biggest role model. You know, I like to model a lot of my wrestling after him.
Same, dude. I love Brian Cage, bro. One of my favorites. So, one, I saw you made a post and I couldn't help but laugh. So, you actually competed in one of the biggest matches of your career so far for DCCW in a Burke street fight, correct?
Correct.
I saw what you posted, and I think it was Sunday, and you were like, wrestle biggest match of my career, paints face and comes out to search and destroy. And then you put Sting does same thing.
Yeah, I was very discouraged when I saw that. And there's two ways to go about this. Maybe that, you know, Sting is a Tommy Two Scoops mark, and he saw my reel that I posted, and he said, "This guy's pretty cool. I'm going to steal this for my entrance for my last match." I'm just kidding. Um, what are the odds of me doing so? First time I ever wore face paint, made the whole shirt. I created the Scoop and Destroy shirt or Strip
Yeah.
them all, and which sold out that night, which is insane. For $30 a pop, I didn't think they were going to sell out, but they did. And that his whole theme going into it, street fight, seek and destroy, vibe was there, popped the crowd with it, you know. I usually come out to a different song. We teased it with the first one, seek and destroy, it lit up. So I didn't actually watch anything live when Sting did it because I was actually wrestling against Ocean at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I get to the back, you know, I've been hanging with everybody, and I get on my phone, and I have about 10 people send me this. Look at this guy. You stole your, you know, you stole your stuff, bro.
I was laughing, dude, when I saw that. I was like, damn, I can only imagine that
What are
too. I
the
saw your
odds?
war paint too. Is that like traditional like rugby style or what? What was that?
That was what I wore for like high school football. It was kind of an homage to that. It was, you know, street fight, you know.
Yeah.
I felt it in the air, and honestly, I've never worn paint before in wrestling, but I used to wear it in football just like that same way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played football from varsity for 4 years. Um, and I just the guys did a couple guys that paint their face in the locker room. I was like, could I borrow some of that real quick? Boom, split second. It wasn't planned. It just happened, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna rock with it.
And how have you enjoyed your time in DCCW?
Dream come true, man. Dream come true. It's unreal to wrestle in the Alray Theater sometimes.
Yeah.
I remember going to watch concerts with my older brother Benny there when I was 18 years old before I even thought about, you know,
Yeah.
I always knew I wanted to train wrestling, but never actually thought it'd be reality. And just around that time, DWO had just disappeared, and there was no wrestling, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and the commission kind of just buried it all, and that commission never made. And I don't care. I'm very vocal about my opinions about the commission
Mm-hmm.
because they don't have any respect for us, and that's, you know. And this is, I'll go back to El Rey. Quick little dialogue. And I don't even care if I get in trouble for this. It's the truth. We're in the back for phase one, and the doctor comes in with the commission person, and the commission person says, "So who's all here to do that wrestling thingy?" Like lost and confused, as if it's like they don't even care to know what it is. You know,
Bro,
at least
that
pretend to care about. If you're going to be on the commission, if you're going to work for the Mexico State Commission, at
yeah.
least pretend to care about pro wrestling and don't act like, what is this thingy? You know, at least pretend. You know, or I don't know, maybe reconsider your job, or
Yeah.
maybe reconsider pro wrestling in the commission, because that's in my eyes disrespectful. Where
Yes.
I've dedicated 4 or 5 years in my life, I've wrestled in the fractured skull. And I'm doing all of this stuff, and I've dedicated everything. I've spent birthdays away. I've 4 years away from any family, just for the sacrifice to get 12 minutes in the hometown ring, which is everything to me. And that's the disrespect that the commission gives. Yet they're real quick to take to ask for money and for stupid
Yes.
stuff. That's different. That's my opinion. I feel like I've had good experience with the New Mexico Athletic Commission as well. I feel like the physicals and stuff is something that's awesome. I'm a big believer that every wrestler should get blood work regardless. So that's something they keep us in charge of that. They have no reason to dig into our pockets at the door though, when they do nothing but they've done more hurt than they've done more harm than help.
Yes.
Um, so I think they're greedy for that, and I don't respect them for that. Um, Now going back to the Al Ray is like a phenomenal venue. Duke City Championship Wrestling is so my first ever time there. I did have over 100 friends and family members there, so I did get a big reaction from them. And I've had times where I've had like 16 family members there, and I've got even bigger reactions. And it's just grown so much for a company that hasn't been around for or even a year. The amount that they're growing and the speed and the rate is insane. We've grown ticket sales every single time to the point where they're selling out faster. They're selling out the night of. Front row sold out night of. And I'm talking like there's a lot of front row, like around 50 of them or more, actually way more. So there's a kind of a, and I said dream come true, and I can't really express that enough. Where it's they reached out to me and they were just like, "What do we got to do to get you out here?" And then I was willing to work with them. I have family in Albuquerque to stay with at the time. Um, I've wrestled some really good guys, and there's a lot of people I do want to wrestle that are on my list. I do know that we've had guys like Jacob Fatu, and I was personally offended I didn't get to wrestle him. Um, don't get me wrong, he had the match of the night, maybe even one of the matches of DCW history against Hobo Inc. And Hobo Inc. deserves everything. That was his
Yeah.
spot. I think he deserved that match. Me personally, you know, I think I deserve that shot,
Mm-hmm.
somewhat of that nature. Um, we had like the guys from NWA, and I got lots of positive feedback from them. I asked them from help, hey, could you watch my match? And they're very, that's a whole other tier. That's
Yeah.
their world class talent, and to get positive feedback from them was awesome as well. Um, so I want to use Duke City as my platform to really get to that next level, because we're on local TV, we have a popping YouTube channel, ProView networks, all the radio stations, KOT7 the news. They're all with us. I've been front page paper twice on the paper, the local media source. You know, um, there's even talks right now with the pizza guys that sponsor Duke City. We're actually doing a brand new Tommy Two Scoops exclusive pizza bundle, where it's 2 scoops of green chili per pepperoni pizza slice. And yeah, it's like we're working on that right now. They're gonna make a big deal about it, but that's in the process. So they've given me everything, and all I could do is just say thank you and give everything back in return. In that ring, I give every match I have in Duke City. I take it beyond serious, because that's my home turf. That's
Mm-hmm.
I made it very clear. My first ever promo over there. This is where I make myself my home. Duke City is where I make my home. Um, and eventually, there's a champion there that I don't think deserves to be the champion. He stole it in a ladder match, and I think that that title is rightfully mine. Um, this time will come where he's gonna be stuck in the ring with me. I've never worked with him yet, but that would be a dream match for me. you know.
Yeah.
So there's a lot I want to do, and I could sum up Duke City with one word, and that's potential. Potential to just be an elite promotion.
So that's crazy because your dreams to go to the next level, and you're going to be remembered at Duke City as one of its prized possessions. They may have a banner of you like they have at FSW in Las Vegas. You know how they have like Chris Bay and Solo Sikoa, Zoe Starks, all of them. They may do that for you, man. And I like hearing how much love you have for it, because you, like, being from New Mexico, like you are also, it sucks growing up and not having professional wrestling, or having just WWE here one time a year.
Mm-hmm.
And two, if you count, Rio Rancho as the same weekend. But it has sucked. And then growing into now, we all get to work at the ground level. Of course, I'm training, you're already debuted, but at the ground level of wrestling in Albuquerque. And these are going to be the most historic moments of these couple of years, these first parts. Who is somebody on the indies that you want to come to Albuquerque?
Ooh, I have too long of a list. I could just start name dropping. Of course, I have a lot of guys from Arizona. When I think of Duke City Championship Wrestling, and you guys got to meet Devin Reno in Phase 1 Pro Wrestling,
Yes.
and I could honestly say he's the best wrestler from my school. And that's saying a lot, because we have the amount of talent,
Yeah.
there's an Pro Wrestling Training Center is, I can name 10 guys that could go. And I think he's the hardest worker in the room no matter where he goes. So that's someone where it's like, yeah, him and I, we can main event and the All Ray for Duke City, and we're about to give him the best match they've ever seen.
Hey.
With utmost confidence, I could feel like he's that good that he's pushed me to that level before, and I've never got to work him one-on-one. So that is a dream match for me as well. And I've called him out for Phase 1 in grants and everything. I'm like, make this happen. Hammerstone, he's a guy that we all look up to. He's at my school. We have 12-inch pictures of ourselves, the graduates, and then there's a 12-foot Hammerstone poster in there. So from 12 inches for us, 12 feet for him. And that's just the reality of it. He's just signed to Impact Wrestling, so who knows what he'll be doing independently, but he would be a guy that I've seen Devin get to work with, Flyboy Freddy get to work with, Kevin Koa get to work with. Where's my shot? He's on that list. He's high on that list. So to get him out to Albuquerque, oh yeah. Jacob Watt too. I mentioned him earlier. He loved New Mexico. He loved the bootcamp culture, and I feel like he left a lot. He left a lot in the ring, but I feel like he kind of alluded to he wanted to come back. And if he ever wants to come back, I'll be the first person to meet him outside the outright doors. Justin Taylor, he is the South Plains Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Champion. And I had the opportunity to share a locker room with him for this Clovis show. We did the show versus show. And he is beyond professional. Mm-hmm. He is the most impressive, well put together independent wrestler I've ever met on every platform. Mm-hmm. Looks like a star, acts like a star, has like 10 championship belts. I want him to put one of them on the line against me and see what he's really all about. That's what I really want. Let's see. There's Aaron Harms out there in West Texas. I believe he's like Odessa, Amarillo, Lubbock area. He was on that same show, and I was beyond impressed with him. He reminded me of a hybrid of myself and Hammerstone mixed together. I would love to work with him anytime soon. Manny Lemons. He is a guy that has inspired me to actually become a pro wrestler, one of the guys. And Chris Bay. Chris Bay is someone that, small world. We knew a lot of the same people from. He grew up in Virginia. I knew the same group of people that he did. And I'm from a small town, Las Vegas, New Mexico. He grew up with someone that I used to know. So that was like, no way. And so he was one of the first wrestlers I actually messaged when I was 19 years old. Hey, how do I wrestle? Hey, go get a school. He's one of the first wrestlers I ever talked to. And he was always so polite. And the first conversation I had with him was, hey, nice to meet you. How do I do this? Blah blah blah. He said, get trained, and I'll see you in the ring soon. That's what he told me. I'll see you out there. Now I'm trained. Now I'm working. I know we signed to a big company, but I think Duke City can make that happen.
Yes.
Um, we're talking NWA now. NWA was just here. I know Jax Dane personally. I attended a couple of his seminars, and when I was young and before I was even working, and I feel like he's the guy that I very, very much respect and look up to. And he's done this for years all over the world. The Vanilla Gorilla, and if I had my shot or opportunity to wrestle with him, that would, you know. And if we're talking grand screen, if we're talking like, hey, Tommy Dreamer, I know we can make that happen. That is my all-time favorite wrestler.
Okay. Okay. Would have never thought Tommy Dreamer for you, honestly, bro. But
It's
okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. Um, I had the VHS tape of the Rise and Fall of BCW. Back then there was no internet,
Yeah.
that's what I would watch, and he was always, my favorite. And then I got to root for Tommy, so I would live vicariously through him in a lot of ways. And I actually met him at DWO when I was 18, 19 years old, and he straight up told me, he was like, before I even told him, hey, I want to be a wrestler, nice to meet you, he looked at me and he's like, you a wrestler? And I was like, no. He's like, well, you look like a wrestler, you have the body shape of a wrestler. I was like, that's all I ever wanted to do. And he's like, you'll make it, you'll make it. That was his
Yeah.
conversation with me. You'll make it. And I was like, whoa. From that day, I was like, well, it's gonna come full circle, man. I gotta catch him.
He's the head of creative for TNA.
That's so insane. And I didn't even know that right now.
Yeah, he's the head of creative for TNA right now. So you're saying like Justin Taylor puts up like the OSW, I believe he's the OSW champion out in Midland, or going to Utah and facing Manny Lemon. You want to travel as much as you possibly can.
That is absolutely the goal. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna be all over the state coming up, all over the states. This weekend, I'm heading to Phoenix for the Phoenix Championship Wrestling to defend my belt. I believe the next week after that, it's Lubbock, Texas. Then to Tucson, Arizona, and then to Long Beach, and then I'm hitting everywhere, and I'm actually booked almost every weekend. So
you're pulling a Gino Rivera over here. I like to see it,
yeah,
dude.
it seems like
You're pulling a Gino Rivera. That's awesome, dude. So where are you going to be for Lubbock? Squared Circle?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'm in good graces with South Plains Championship Wrestling. They've asked me to work with them before. Just at the time, it was 16 hours away from Phoenix.
Yeah.
I talked to a lot of the guys out there, and then hey, Kyle the ref is like, hey, I have a spot in my car, and they got a hotel for us. So I messaged everyone, and hey, come through. So
All right.
and then
dude.
I got a connection that same weekend with Rocky Mountain Pro in Denver. It's the same weekend, but I already have the previous engagement arrangement set up. But that's also a big promotion I want to work for out there. So
they do Twitch streaming, YouTube streaming. There's a good opportunity to get yourself out there, dude.
And
100%.
I've been able to work with some of those guys in Nevada. Bruce Waynes, who I talk to him weekly. He's one of my favorite people on this earth. He's their tag team champ. He's over. This like the two scoops is over. His chop is over. Chop, chop. I keep telling him, let's make it weapon. He's like, whenever you want, man. So add him to the list too. Duke City.
Oh,
him and Atiba, his partner.
that's awesome, man. Like, you're an inspiration. I'll say that, especially even if we're close in age, just because you got the build. You could be cocky. You're not. You're very humble. Everything good coming your way is well deserved. That's the best way I can say it.
Thank you. And I get that a lot. And it's a compliment that it's hard for me to take. It's like a thank you. It means everything to me, but I just really put in so much effort into every little thing. I'm very selective about where I wrestle and who I wrestle. Going back to 4 years I've been pretty much in the business, and I've only had 40 matches, but it's because I've never wrestled in front of less of 300 people by design. Phoenix Championship Wrestling averages over 550 a show. PCW Ultra averages over 600. Duke City averages 550 to 600. this phase one sold out. I mean, obviously over 400 until the fire marshal turned 400 people away.
Yeah.
You know, very selective about where I work and who I work with. So I'm grateful, and I'm not. That's not me being arrogant. That is like me just showing a little bit of gratitude of like, I can't believe that not anyone, like mostly nobody, could actually say that they've been that blessed with opportunity. That being said, in less than 40 matches, I've wrestled in like 6 states. That's unheard of. You know, I won a championship belt my 12th ever match. Like, I'm blessed. I'm lucky, but you know, and I've got to do it all. Like, I've set myself 5 set of goals that I wanted to do when I first started wrestling, and this past year I completed all 5. So what did I do? I created a brand new 5, you know, and I've already got 2 of those down. So
that's awesome, dude. That's insane.
And I'll be very clear what 2 of them are. One of them is to work for FSW in Nevada. They have just the production and everything. And a lot of my peers have worked there. I've gone out 5 or 6 times to their shows, and you know, I haven't even been looked at. But my goal is to one day prove them wrong and say, I'm here to stay. And 2 is to have my first ever heavyweight championship bout. I've had tag teams. I've undefeated in championship matches, actually. But I never had like face of the company heavyweight championship bout, and that is my goal. You know, whether it be Duke City or phase 1, I will hold that belt with all the pride and respect in the world. You know, fighting champion is a cliche, but I definitely really am. I live that life every day where I wake up at 4:30 in the morning every single day, and I don't go to bed to 10:30 every day, and that's real life. You know, I just put that much effort in, and I feel like I would like to put that much effort behind a company, put the company on my back. You know, I feel like that's where I want to be. That's my goal. That's what I aspire to do. Nothing shorter than the top.
You're trying to be the face of a company. You're going to be a face of a city.
Yeah.
If you don't calm down.
Because I've already wrestled in New Mexico was completely dead, and I've already wrestled in Clovis, Grants, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque. We got Chama coming up. We got Santa Fe coming up. And then I was talking to Gypsy Mac about doing a show in Las Vegas, New Mexico, which will sell out any of those high school gyms, any of the Highlands gyms. If they get rowdy for the basketball games out there, so I can only imagine they have 2 or 3 hometown heroes of Tomas Silva, you know? Yeah. So I think that if we did that, it would be a tremendous success. Let's just say the commission would make a lot of money off of us that day.
I like that. Damn, dude. Like I said, you're an inspiration, man. You're a really humble guy. You know, the next time we have this interview, I want to do it towards the end of the year, and I hope I could do it in person. I mean, we live in the same state. I can drive down there. I train down there. We can do this. I would love to interview you in person, but with that DCCW belt around your waist, man.
Anytime. That sounds like a plan.
I would love that.
We have a couple places we could do it. Yeah, let's make that a goal.
Let's make that a goal, man. Definitely. And where can everybody find you? What are your socials? Do you got YouTube? Do you got Instagram? What do you got?
Matter of fact, yes, I do. I have a little bit of everything. You can find me on Instagram at Tommy2 scoops _. There I have a LinkedIn where you can find me on my YouTube. It's Tommy Test Wrestling. And then on Facebook, it is Tommy Test Wrestling as well. So that's my page over there. So it's kind of simple. Tommy Test Wrestling, Tommy Test Wrestling, and then Tommy2 Scoops on Instagram. I don't really use Twitter all that much. I know that people say that's the biggest market for pro wrestling. I honestly only use it to promote a big match once in a while or to troll Fireboy Freddy. Those are my only 2 things I use it for. I don't take it serious whatsoever. I guess you can find me on there. I don't even know what my username is. TikTok. I have a TikTok. I believe it is Tommy Test Bro Official. I could fact check that.
Okay.
But it is linked in on my Instagram as well, so you can find me there.
Okay. Cool. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this episode of Downtime in the Ring. Hopefully the next time we have him, he's promoting his TikTok or YouTube or podcast of in the middle? Is that what you said? Or meet in the middle?
In the middle. Yeah.
Yes, meet me in the middle. We would love to have that. We would love to learn more about you and obviously your journey with your amazing wife and see, you know, how you two came together and met in the middle. Thank you guys for watching this episode, and we'll see
Thank
you
you.
in the next one.